Yes, indeed. We back on another episode of Chill World Talks. I'm your host, Chill World 174th, East Coast, East Side, Worldwide, Boogie Down Bronx. You already know how we do. Fresh off the flight. You know what I'm saying? Fresh off the flight. Before we get started, I got the ProFit, I think, energy drink. 10 grams of protein. I'm not really sure. Just got it today. We gonna find out how it is, though. Anybody know how it is? Yo, let me know. But I thought of this story. It came to mind. I guess while I was on the flight or when I was in North Carolina, you already know. Shout out to North Carolina too and South Carolina. But I got a story. One day we was young, maybe 11, 12 years old in the Bronx, New York City. We was young kids. It was winter time, and there used to be a man that lived in my building, and he used to like drive a cab back in the days, but it wasn't a yellow cab. It was like a regular cab. And for some reason, in the front seat of his car on the floor, he used to always leave like a whole bunch of change, like on the front seat of his car. And you know, you could look through the window of his car and you could always see all that change on the floor of his car. And I guess that was from like driving all night or whatever. So one night, his car door was like a little bit open, like, you know, he didn't close it all the way. So it was about 4 or 5 of us, and we're trying to pry the door open so we can get to this change. You know, we young kids. You know, we ain't getting no money yet, nothing. So we trying to get to it. It was a whole bunch of change, so we trying to get to it. Nighttime. Unbeknownst to us, on the next block from us, somebody had got shot, like a security guard or something. He had got shot by somebody, like in the face. And I don't know if it like hit him in the face or the bullet grazed him, but it turned into a big thing. It was on the next block behind us. But the assailant, the person that shot the security guard, he had on a certain type of winter hat. And it just so happens that one of the friends I was with, trying to break into this little car, he had the same hat on that night, the same hat. What a coincidence. So the cops rolling around the block looking for the person who did the shooting, and they happened to come across my friend with the hat on. And this was just on the next block. So we heard the shot too, but we didn't know what it was. So when the cops rolled up, we're busy trying to break into this car to get this change, and they roll up on us, and you know, they grabbed us all up and did what they did. Now we thinking we're being arrested for breaking into this car trying to get this change, but little did we know we were being arrested for this shooting. We had got taken in for this shooting that happened up the block that we didn't even know about. You know what I'm saying? And they took us to the precinct, all types of shit. Of course, we were all innocent because we wasn't the person. What's going on, man? Everything good. But needless to say, my friend was actually charged with this shooting. Okay. No. Close? Yeah, close. So he was being charged with the shooting. Well, my friend really was, but we were there, so it was like we was accomplices or something. All because he had on the same hat, and the police would not believe that he wasn't the guy that did the shooting. You know what I'm saying? Which was crazy, because we actually had to go to court for this case. And we were like 11, 12 years old. We really had to go to court for this case. We went back in court for months for this case, and I remember a friend of mine, the same guy that was supposedly the one that did the shooting, he knew how to cut hair, so he had cut my head like one day before we went to court. And I remember I was dealing with this girl, and he had carved the girl's name like in my head, you know. And I went home. My mom was like, "Boy, you crazy? You know, you got to go to court. You got this girl name in your head. You know, stand in front of a judge and all this stuff." And she blasted me out there. But eventually, you know, we went to court for like 6 months, and they ended up dropping the case because we were juveniles and they couldn't prove, you know, who did the shooting or none of that, which none of us did. But you know, they had to end up dropping the case because they had no evidence. But that was something that happened. That was kind of crazy. Wasn't a big story, but I just remembered it, you know, popped in my head. But it's all good. Shout out to the listeners. Shout out to the haters. Please hit that like button, share button, subscribe button. It would greatly help me out.